In a grim alternate America during the 1970s, ruled under an oppressive regime, a yearly test of endurance known as the Long Walk is organized. Keen contestants, called walkers, must maintain a steady pace of at least 3 miles per hour, 5 kilometers per hour, with instant execution as the punishment for slowing below the limit. Ray was chosen through a lottery that granted him a spot in the competition, and his mother drove him to the starting line. On arrival, she hesitated to let him leave, recalling how his father lost his life in the same event. The first friend Ray made was McVries, and together they mingled with the other 49 participants. Soon, the major arrived. He ordered them to step forward one by one to collect their numbered tags when called, while the rest were instructed to remain completely still. Once everyone had their tags, he explained the origin of the contest. After the war, the country had suffered severe economic collapse, and the Long Walk was introduced as a way to restore productivity by instilling discipline and reinforcing the value of hard work. Each year, productivity spikes after the walk, and with this justification, the major vowed to restore greatness to the nation. He laid down the rules. The walk continues until only one competitor remains. Everyone must keep to the minimum pace, falling behind results in a warning. If a walker cannot recover their speed within 10 seconds, another warning is issued. 3 warnings result in immediate execution. The sole survivor at the end receives both a massive cash prize and a single wish capable of granting anything they desire. After announcing the rules, the major fired a gun into the air, officially beginning the contest. Soldiers and support vehicles moved along with them, ready to enforce discipline. By the time they reached the 5th mile, fatigue began to set in, prompting many to sip water for strength. Hours later, a contestant named Curly developed a leg cramp that slowed him down, earning his first warning. Some of the boys even walked backward to cheer him on. Curly managed to push forward, though he had already used up his 3 strikes and now had to walk for 3 uninterrupted hours without faltering. During this stretch, Ray shared his view that the Long Walk was not truly voluntary. According to him, the system had forced them into it, leaving no other options. Another walker revealed he was documenting everyone's names and tag numbers, explaining that he planned to write a book about the ordeal from the inside, which would bring him fame and fortune. Not long after, Curly suffered a Charlie horse and nearly stopped, but Ray and McVries helped him move. Eventually, however, the pain became too great, and he gave in, becoming the first to be shot. The group was horrified, now fully aware of the deadly seriousness of their situation. By mile 17, McVries advised Ray to stop focusing on the outcome and instead concentrate on simply making it through the next moment. Soon after, walker number 1 collapsed, convulsing, and was eliminated. Barkovich mocked him openly, encouraging the others to see each death as an advantage, though no one agreed. Later, another boy in Ray's group developed a Charlie horse, forcing his friends to slow slightly to help him recover. Meanwhile, Barkovich deliberately provoked a competitor named Rank into attacking him. Rank lashed out repeatedly, not realizing each assault earned him a warning. After his 3rd strike, he was executed on the spot. The rest of the walkers turned on Barkovich, furious at his manipulation, and some even threatened to kill him themselves. Barkovich, however, brushed it off with little concern. As the miles dragged on, one desperate boy was unable to hold in his need to relieve himself and stopped moving. After exhausting his warnings, soldiers gunned him down without hesitation. By mile 35, the major congratulated the remaining walkers on surviving thus far. As night began to fall, Ray drifted into dreams of happier times with his mother but realized upon waking that he had been sleepwalking for hours. After tripping and falling, he received a second warning, then lashed out at McVries, accusing him of fake kindness in a place where everyone secretly wanted the others to die. They soon faced a steep uphill path that claimed several walkers, unable to handle the strain. Ray pushed forward with determination, choosing not to dwell on the carnage around him. Though he nearly faltered, McVries once again supported him until he regained his rhythm. When Ray asked after the others in their small group, McVries revealed that they had all already been eliminated. By the dawn of the second day, their numbers had dwindled to just 18 out of the original 53. Walker number 49 twisted his leg and was promptly executed when he could no longer continue. Barkovich, cold as ever, showed no reaction. After a spat with McVries, he threatened to devise ways to ensure McVries's death as the brutal contest pushed on. The major once again praised the walkers for surviving up to the 100-mile mark, reminding them that a grand cash reward awaited whoever made it to the end. One walker tried to break away from the group, but he was gunned down instantly before getting far. Heavy rain poured as night drew in. Ray leaned against McVries' shoulder to grab a bit of rest, while McVries himself showed no signs of tiring. Walker number 6 paused briefly to relieve himself, barely managing to return in time before earning a final warning. During the march, McVries asked Ray whether he believed he could actually win. That was when Ray revealed the real reason behind his determination. His father, he explained, had been a man who passed on all kinds of knowledge, even things outlawed by the state. One day, soldiers burst into their home, dragged his father outside, and delivered him to the major for judgment. After listing his crimes of spreading banned teachings, the major offered him a chance to pledge loyalty to the regime. His father refused, and in response, the major executed him in front of his family. From that moment, Ray carried a deep hatred toward the major, and if he won, his wish would be for a carbine so he could take the major's life in revenge. McVries tried to dissuade him, insisting that killing a man was not as easy as it sounded. He also admitted that when exhaustion overtook him, he intended to stop and accept death. By the time they reached mile 170, many of the walkers had lost their sanity. One attacked a soldier and was crushed beneath a tank. Another stripped off his clothing and wandered off the route, earning immediate execution. Olson began suffering hallucinations and quickly deteriorated. As night came, Ray noticed Olson was no longer lucid, he couldn't even hear him. Suddenly, Olson charged toward a soldier, who shot him in the leg and left him bleeding as punishment. Baker tried rushing back to help, but Ray dragged him forward, knowing stopping would get him killed too. On the fourth day, mile 209, only 6 participants remained out of the original 53, Barkovich, Garraty, Stebbins, Baker, McVries, and Parker. Parker revealed that Olson had been the only married walker, so they all agreed the winner should set aside a portion of the prize money for Olson's widow. Feeling excluded and guilty over Rank's death, Barkovich begged Ray to let him rejoin the group. Ray reluctantly accepted, but Barkovich soon lost his grip on reality, tormented by visions of Rank's corpse whenever he closed his eyes. Although the others tried to reassure him with forgiveness, he suddenly turned to them and drove a spoon into himself. The soldiers promptly finished him off. At mile 260, 5 walkers remained, passing the time with music as they trudged along. When they reached Freeport, Ray spotted his mother crying with both sorrow and relief that he was still alive. Overcome, he nearly ran back to embrace her, but McVries stopped him just in time to prevent elimination. The moment was heartbreaking, intensifying their shared resentment toward the government. To keep Ray focused, McVries shared how hardship had defined his entire life. By day 5, Stebbins had grown gravely ill and urged the others to stop helping one another, claiming it would only drag things out. Suddenly, Baker's nose began to bleed heavily. Following their new pact, none stepped in to aid him. Overwhelmed, Parker turned his rage on a soldier, shot him, then turned the gun on himself, ending his life. The remaining walkers pressed on as though nothing had happened, convincing themselves it was necessary. Baker's condition worsened until he could barely stand. Believing he was suffering internal bleeding, Ray and McVries broke their pact and supported him. But Baker, ready to let go, begged them to stop. He handed Ray his cross with instructions to deliver it to his grandmother, then pulled free from their grasp, turned around, and walked backward. The soldiers executed him on the spot. Stebbins, too weak to continue, confided in Garraty and McVries that he was the illegitimate son of the major. His goal had been to win and force his father to acknowledge him. Saying it had been an honor to walk with them, he halted and accepted death, leaving only Garraty and McVries standing. The final 2 arrived at a town where crowds gathered to witness the conclusion. McVries sat down deliberately, but Garraty hauled him back up, urging him onward, unaware that Garraty himself had stopped moving. The major executed Garraty and declared McVries the winner. When asked about his prize, McVries demanded a guard's weapon, shot the major dead, and then walked off into the distance. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.